Okay, my scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I had heard this scripture at the ladies' retreat last spring, and it changed my life. During that retreat, I cried out to God. I prayed hard because I needed him. I was a broken woman and had sin in my life, and my life changed 3 weeks later. I was in a 13-year relationship with my boyfriend and lived with him the last 8 of those years. I had given him so many years of my life, but there was no marriage on the table. He just wouldn't commit. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy of marriage. It was humiliating. He wasn't doing right by me, but I couldn't leave because I was afraid of being alone. But I finally came to a point where I knew I didn't want to live in sin anymore and had more respect for myself. I felt desperate, emotional, fearful, and anxious. I turned to prayer. I asked God on what to do about my living situation, and he told me to go, and I heard him. I felt the tugging at my heart. I knew I had to be obedient. God gave me the strength to leave. It was very, very heartbreaking for both of us, but oddly, I felt at peace. So I went from living with him to now dating him. I mean, who does that? So I was, was this gonna work? And I was also thinking, well, how come he let me go? Again, there was anxiety and fear. So after I left, he became very cold and distant towards me, but I just kept on trying and trying and trying to keep us together, hoping for the best. And for months, I would every morning I would wake up thinking about us and what was going to happen. I thought about it all day. I would go to bed worrying about it. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with worry, hopelessness, and anxiety. It was exhausting. I had to stay in constant prayer to deal with my pain. So 3 months ago, after much soul searching and prayer, we decided to end our relationship. The night we ended it, there was crying and so much sadness. I even had to say goodbye to his dog, Gabby, who I helped raise from a puppy. She was our little girl. It was very, very hard. I knew this chapter in my life was over. But here is what was truly amazing. When I walked out of his house, knowing we were over, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and freedom. I felt hope. The tears were gone, all the anger, pain, and resentment that I felt for years, they were pulled from my heart immediately. I know God has his hands in this and will lead me to where he wants me to be. I am trusting in the Lord. He will show me. I am excited to see what God has in store for me in this new chapter of my life. I know doing God's will and through obedience will bring me an abundant life. I love this walk with Jesus and will work hard to keep his commands and to stay obedient. I feel peace and hope for myself and my future, just like the Lord promised. His gift of hope and the future.